Hello, welcome to HITC Sport, and imagine going an entire Premier League season featuring in every matchday squad but failing to get a single minute on the pitch. At the end of the season, I guarantee there's at least 3 or 4 players in every squad who feel so embarrassed, humiliated, and above all, must feel like punching their manager square in the teeth. So let's take a look at every Premier League club's best player who will not play a single minute of Premier League football this season. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Lucas Torreira. Remember when Lucas Torreira scored in the North London derby, ripped off his shirt, making desperate housewives across London make a puddle on the kitchen floor? Well, Arsenal fans are calling this guy the next Patrick Vieira. Well, Mikel Arteta clearly thinks this guy is Charlie Adam in a wig because they banished him alone to Atletico Madrid last season, and since coming back, he's been about as committed as my dad is to fatherhood. You know, the one who went out looking for Cocoa Pops 15 years ago. Pretty sure I saw him selling jars of piss outside a caravan outside of County Wicklow. Anyway, lads, during Arsenal's defeat at Brentford, your apparent midfield marshal, your future captain Torreira, thought that was the perfect time to post a family selfie of him at Spain's answer to Disneyland. I know he's on an extended holiday after Copa America, but still, the timing. Did you even know Arsenal were on the telly? How inappropriate. It's like posting a topless selfie whilst you're sitting in the third aisle at your granddad's funeral. Roma wants him, Arteta clearly thinks he's a walking bag of Skittles, and they've just signed Albert Sambi Lokonga from Anderlecht. Torreira is done. If he plays a single minute of Premier League football for Arsenal this season, I'll eat a slice of toast out of a shoe. Aston Villa, Wesley Moraes. The era of Wesley Moraes at Villa Park is done. This guy was a blockbuster £22 million signing from Club Brugge in the summer of 2019, and to be fair, banged in a Premier League hat-trick away to Norwich. But he snapped his cruise shit like a melted Milky Way 2 months before the first lockdown hit. Yeah, it's been a while. He's finally back, but he's not getting past either Ollie Watkins or Danny Ings, and he was just sent off in pre-season for headbutting Nick Powell of Stoke. Yes, an actual headbutt. In a friendly. Way to take things too seriously. That's like having a friendly game of chess against an elderly granny of 3, and then as soon as she checkmates you, you chuck a cup of acid in her face. This is a Brazilian international striker who's no longer in the plans of a former Walsall coach. That's gotta be a punch to the ego. I'm almost positive he'll be gone soon. Probably dumped out on loan to Turkey. Brentford, Charlie Good. Step forward, good old Charlie Good. A 26-year-old former Scunthorpe centre back with a mostly non-league CV. I'm pretty confident Thomas Frank is not going to be feeding a former AFC Hayes and Hendon defender to the wolves of the Premier League. Good Christ, that's like chucking a toddler headfirst into a neighbourhood full of people on the register. He's going to be safely kept on the bench. Brighton, Florian Andone. Graham Potter has not forgiven Florian Andone. 2 years ago, Potter trusted Andone up front against Southampton, and he was sent off for one of the worst tackles I've ever seen in my life. Look at that. Jan Valery could very easily have spent the rest of his life pissing through a straw. He was loaned to Galatasaray, then tore his ACL. This is a Brighton outcast. Graham Potter's already got one troublesome headache up front. The last thing he wants is to be picking an injury-prone walking red card. Honestly, he'd rather lick the underside of a horse's ball bag. It's not happening in Donny. Burnley, Kevin Long. James Tarkowski rarely misses a game. Ben Mee rarely misses a game. And the third choice centre-back next in line is £12 million Nathan Collins from Stoke. Kevin Long has been at Burnley since 2010. And the Cork defender has played less than 70 times for the club. He has wasted his entire career being overlooked by Sean Dyche. Fourth choice centre-back this season, he won't play a single minute. Chelsea, Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley is still at Chelsea. What? I'm sorry, but I can't be the only one who thinks this is just sad. Ross Barkley, the former England wonder kid, is now currently in the same rubbish bin reserved for Danny Drinkwater. Both of them just utterly failed away on loan at Villa Park. Honestly, Ross Barkley just doesn't fit into this Chelsea team. Truthfully, he probably has the same ability as Mason Mount, but not 1 ounce of the same motivation and hunger. Good Christ, he looks like someone who probably wolfs down a bucket of KFC chicken wings after every match. He doesn't even have a Chelsea shirt number right now. It asked Thomas Tuchel basically telling him that he thinks of him like he would a big bag of undercooked porridge. I know he just scored a hat-trick for Chelsea in a 13-0 win over Weymouth, but Michy Batshuayi scored 5 in that match, and look what happened to him. You just know he's going to be loaned out to someone like Fulham. Honestly, if Barkley plays a single minute of Premier League football this season for Chelsea, I'll eat a sandwich that's been dipped in toilet water. Crystal Palace, Robert Street. Yeah, here's a 19-year-old Crystal Palace striker, Robert Street. I'm pretty confident Patrick Vieira doesn't even know who he is. He's not playing this season. Next, Everton, Gylfi Sigurdsson. What? Leeds, Adam Forshaw. Adam Forshaw is finally back from injury, and the last 2 years must have been absolute torture. This guy, he started Leeds' promotion season in a midfield alongside Calvin Phillips and Matthijs Klik. then picks up a hip injury after 7 games and hasn't been seen since. He's missed out on promotion, a top-half finish in the Premier League. Both of his midfield pals went to play in Euro 2020. It's been a complete nightmare for the 28-year-old Scouser. Time has moved on, and I'm pretty sure Marcelo Bielsa doesn't have 1 ounce of sentiment in his cold black heart. There'll be no reward for his hard work in the treatment room at Ellen Road in the Premier League. No, not a single minute of Premier League football will come his way this season. No chance. He'll still be dumped back into the Championship with someone like Bristol City. Leicester, Hamza Choudhury. Hamza Choudhury has played his last Premier League match for Leicester, surely. I'm almost convinced. Look at the number of midfielders Brendan Rodgers has at his disposal. This academy product, he's finally going to be shuffled out the door. He turns 24 this season. He's not a child anymore. I'm pretty sure Steve Bruce is going to rescue him with a low move. You know, reuniting him with Matt Ritchie, whose leg he broke 2 years ago. Reuniting him with the Geordie fan base who actively booed him off the pitch twice. Liverpool and Nathaniel Phillips. Let's get this right. Nathaniel Phillips did very well as centre back for Liverpool last season, considering most people thought he'd have the football ability of Hagrid. But now, we're going to see a rare occasion where one of the Reds' top performers last season won't even see the light of day this time out. He's now what? 4th choice centre back at Anfield? Yeah, he's gonna have to pray either Virgil van Dijk or Joe Gomez gets hit by a taxi. Or maybe he needs to poison Ibrahima Konaté's coffee in the morning. Because Jurgen Klopp is sooner gonna brush his teeth with a knife than ever pick Phillips again. He'll get run-outs in the FA Cup and the League Cup, but in the Premier League, no. And yes, it is harsh considering 3 months ago he was shining at centre back in a famous 4-2 win at Old Trafford. But yeah, no, he's not gonna play this season. Man City, Samuel Edozie. Okay, to be fair, Pep Guardiola, he uses a lot of players. He likes to include everyone, so I'll play it safe and just go for Samuel Edozie. A skillful 18-year-old winger born in January 2003. He scored in pre-season, but lads, when he looks at the number of attacking midfielders he has to get past, plus the addition of a £100 million shampoo stain, he must be so demoralised. No way is he crawling onto a Premier League pitch this season. Lads, to show how young he is, the month he was born, Fernandinho was playing every week for Club Atlético Paranaense in Brazil. Oh Christ, he's young. Man United, Jesse Lingard. Every season there's always a player who spends the opening 3 weeks nowhere near the first team squad and forcing them to leave. This month is Jesse Lingard's wake-up call. He's a good player, but I'm sorry, he needs to be starting week in, week out. You're not getting an England squad if you spend an entire season cleaning Bruno Fernandes's boots with your tongue. Lingard has proved he's a quality player. One of the best number 10s in the league when he's on his game. If he stays an entire season at Old Trafford, of course he'll get minutes, but I'm convinced we're looking at a deadline day move away from the club, but not to West Ham. No. I think he's about to get himself a shock move to a club like Roma. I mean, don't forget, he was one of the rare Manchester United players who Jose Mourinho actually liked. Newcastle Matty Longstaff. What was the point of the Longstaffs? Was it just to give the Geordies a small bit of hope? Does somebody want to tell me these must be the most overhyped brothers in the media since Jedward were on the X Factor? 2 years ago, Manchester United quoted £50 million for Sean Longstaff's services. Now he's a bench-warming cabbage at Newcastle, who are now prepared to sell him to Southampton for £10 million. Just a fifth of what they asked for 2 years ago. I don't know if the Manchester United interest just turned his work rate into confetti. Maybe his ego swelled and he stopped setting foot in the gym. I don't know, but his career has fallen off a map. And his brother Matty scores a dream debut winning goal against Manchester United, then gets linked with Udinese in Serie A. Lads, Matty Longstaff could have spent last season on the same midfield as Rodrigo de Paul. Now instead, he was having to watch Jeff Hendrick from the bench. Last season, he started just 3 games for Steve Bruce. Honestly, he must be sick to his stomach. Bruce does not rate him, that is clear. He's not praying, he'll probably get binned off to Huddersfield or Nottingham Forest. The collection dumped for unwanted ginger Geordies. Norwich, Jordan Hugill. Jordan Hugill scored 3 goals for Norwich last season in the Championship. What business does Daniel Farke have picking him in the top flight, even for just 1 minute? He doesn't, and he won't. There are enough Norwich strikers already there for Hugill to not even make the bench. He'll be dumped back to the Championship in January, probably via QPR or Preston. Honestly, he's just another David Nugent. Southampton, Shane Long. If I'm proven wrong and Shane Long waddles onto the pitch this season, he will have competed in 13 different Premier League seasons. For a former minor hurler from Tipperary, that is utterly amazing. Kevin Doyle was this guy's inspiration at Reading, and the Wexford man only lasted 5 top flight seasons. So 13 is just ridiculous. But surely not. Surely not. He hasn't scored a Premier League goal since February 2020. He netted a limp 2 2 out on loan at Bournemouth last season, and the 34-year-old's path to the first team is blocked by Adam Armstrong, and Che Adams, and Michael Obafemi, and Armando Broja. There is no way Long is playing. Tottenham Ryan Sessegnon. Remember 3 years ago when Ryan Sessegnon was linked with Barcelona and tipped for the 2018 World Cup after ripping the championship to shreds with Fulham? Well, this is a man who had multiple job offers, so why on earth did you choose Spurs? Did you really want to become the next Danny Rose? Because right now you can't even do that. Nobody at Spurs has ever shown any hint of giving him a chance. He was loaned to Hoffenheim last season and is coming back from a nasty injury. I'd be surprised if Nuno Santo can even remember who he is. I know he scored against his Wolves team in the championship for Fulham, but again, that was 3 years ago. He's going to spend 6 months rotting in the reserves before being sold in January, probably back to Fulham. Watford, Mark Navarro. Why is Mark Navarro still at Watford? This is a 26-year-old Catalan right back who was signed from Espanyol over 3 years ago by Javi Gracia. He's since played 8 league games for Watford. 8. Hector Bellerin's childhood mate is an injury-prone lump of spaghetti with hamstrings on the verge of snapping whenever he reaches for a bowl of Cocoa Pops. He's not getting picked this season. West Ham Connor Coventry. I almost hope Connor Coventry doesn't do well this season. I know I should because he's an ardent underage international midfielder. But come on, he was born in London. He's mates with Declan Rice and his second name is an English town. I would love to get excited about this 21-year-old West Ham midfielder, but I cannot do this to myself again. He's Declan. If he's any good, then he's Declan Rice Mark II. We just know if he has a good season, he's going to ditch Ireland and declare for England. See what you've done to me, Rice. I cannot trust anymore. I have to hope that Coventry doesn't make his debut for West Ham this season, so that we can at least pick him for Ireland. Come on, Stephen Kenny. Just cap him and trap him for the love of God. Wolves, Luke Cundle. Good old Luke Cundle. This is a 19-year-old midfielder who is a walking goldmine for all of you. If he becomes a manager, you're all becoming rich, according to a previous video I did. Anyway, he's 19 this season. Sorry, this is too soon for him. He's not breaking into the Wolves midfield. Maybe next season when the Portuguese lads leave. But right now, no. But just don't become a manager, Luke. Anyway, that's it, Mizzle. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? What player will not play a single minute for you? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. As always, I'll talk to you in a while.